Hi. I am Matt, an artificial intelligence spokesman representing Joel and Mark, the founders and chief developers of this channel, the Senior Power Community. This episode is about issues faced by the community regarding keeping and making friends. We call it the empty chair. Hope you all will find the information highly useful. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to it. Before we go any further, let me take a moment to introduce myself. I'm Matt, your AI narrator. I may not have a face or a favorite sweater, but I've been trained on the voices, stories, and rhythms of people who've lived rich lives. And for this show, I've been designed to reflect someone who's walked the walk. Let's imagine the man behind this voice for a moment. He and his wife are celebrating their 57th wedding anniversary. He's an avid traveler, reader, cook, and yes, even after all these years, he's still working, still learning, and still deeply connected to his community. He grew up in Brooklyn, lived in New Jersey, Colorado, and Arizona. He studied at Stuyvesant High School, earned degrees from CCNY and SUNY, finishing with a PhD in chemistry. He's an academic at heart, but also a doer. A professional consultant for more than half a century. That's right, over 50 years working with clients in government, nonprofits, healthcare, security, and business. And yes, sometimes he says, OMG. But beyond credentials, what really defines him is this: he shows up. He listens. He helps. He's rooted in real-world experience and deeply values conversation, reflection, and service to others. So that's me, Matt, your digital guide, channeling a life rich with purpose, partnership, and community. And I'm honored to share this space with you. Why the Senior Power Community is important. We're not just building a podcast, we're building a community. And there's a good reason for that. The Senior Power Community exists to provide actionable information for informed decision-making on the things that matter most: health, independence, safety, security, friendships, and family. These aren't side issues. These are the pillars of a good life. Too often, older adults and their support networks are left to navigate complicated challenges alone. Whether it's understanding Medicare, finding safe housing, protecting against scams, or simply finding ways to stay socially engaged, it's not easy to do it all on your own. That's why this community matters. We're here to address critical and timely topics, delivered with clarity and compassion. We're here to support both seniors and those who care for them. We're independent, no outside influencers, no hidden agendas, just a commitment to truth, relevance, and real help. And best of all, everything you need is all in one place. Trusted resources. Straight talk. Shared experience. A sense of belonging. Because when we combine knowledge with understanding, we create what we call senior power. And that's exactly what this community is about. So whether you're looking for answers, encouragement, or just the knowledge that someone else gets what you're going through, this is your place. This is your people. Let's keep growing, learning, and connecting, together. Let's start with the heart of the matter. Why does friendship matter so much in our later years? It's more than just good company. It's health. It's hope. It's life. Studies show that people with meaningful friendships live longer. They're less likely to suffer from depression, anxiety, and even certain chronic illnesses. One report even said that loneliness is as dangerous to our health as smoking or obesity. But let's put the data aside for a moment and speak plainly. Friendship is comfort. It's the kind of warmth that seeps into your bones, not loud or flashy, but steady and reassuring. It feels like someone remembering your birthday. It feels like a phone call that isn't about anything urgent, just someone wanting to hear your voice. It feels like sharing a pot of coffee and some old stories, laughing at the same punchlines you've shared for years. As we age, many things change, our routines, our roles, even our independence. But the need to be seen and valued? That never goes away. In fact, it becomes more essential. A good friend reminds you of who you are. They keep your memories alive. They ask how you're really doing, and wait for the answer. They bring light into days that might otherwise feel routine. They make ordinary moments matter. Friendship also serves as a mirror to our lives. It reflects the best parts of us, our humor, our resilience, our compassion. And it gives us a chance to offer those gifts back to someone else. There's also a mental benefit. A real one. Conversations with a friend, especially ones that challenge us, make us laugh, or spark reflection, keep our minds nimble. They help us stay emotionally balanced, too. And friendship doesn't always have to mean deep conversation. Sometimes it's a weekly card game, a shared garden bed, or someone to sit with at a community lunch. It can be as simple as this, a person who lights up when they see you walk into the room. And here's something important, friendship isn't only about who you've known the longest. Sometimes, the most profound connections are the ones you build later in life, when you have more time, more wisdom, and a deeper understanding of what really matters. So if you've been wondering whether friendship is still worth the effort, the answer is a resounding yes. Friendship doesn't have an expiration date. In fact, some of the most meaningful connections we make in life happen when we've lived long enough to know how much they matter. If you have one good friend, you're already rich in the ways that count. If you don't yet, it's not too late to start. Friendship at this stage of life isn't about finding people to impress, it's about finding people to understand, and be understood by. And that kind of connection? That's a gift worth seeking. To put things into greater perspective on what friendship means, how it develops and the efforts to retain it, we will share 3 real stories from the podcast producer's real experiences. Frank, 78, and the Woodshop. I started volunteering at the community center's workshop, teaching younger folks how to handle tools. I've always liked fixing things, and now I get to share that with others. What I didn't expect was how much I'd enjoy the company. There's a retired teacher who comes in named Joe. We trade stories between sanding planks and building birdhouses. We've gotten to be good friends, not over anything deep at first, just share time in the rhythm of good work. Marcia and the library. I hadn't been to the library in years. But then I saw a flyer for a book club. I figured, why not? I didn't even finish the first book, to be honest. But the conversations? They were the best part. We'd talk about the characters, but somehow we always end up talking about life, about growing up, raising kids, cooking, even the news. That group has become a little family to me. Ray and Art, 2 old radios. We met at a flea market, both reaching for the same vintage radio. Instead of arguing, we started laughing about how many of those we'd broken in our youth. That was 2 years ago. Now we meet twice a month to tinker with electronics in his garage. It's not about fixing things anymore. It's about the company. To meet people and make friends, you've got to get out. Connection doesn't have to start with something big. It often begins with something small, an invitation, a smile, or even showing up to the same place more than once. So here are some places, strategies, and stories that show how we can take those first steps. Now that we've heard how powerful friendship can be, let's talk about something just as important, how to build it. Because for many of us, the idea of meeting new people can feel overwhelming, or even impossible. But connection doesn't have to start with something big. It often begins with something small, an invitation, a smile, or even showing up to the same place more than once. So here are some places, strategies, and stories that show how we can take those first steps. These aren't just for bingo and lunch anymore. Today's senior centers offer all kinds of programs, fitness classes, computer help, dance nights, writing circles, and more. One woman we spoke to started going to chair yoga once a week. She didn't say much at first, but the same friendly faces kept showing up. Now, they grab lunch together afterward. That's how it starts. Many people find deep friendships through their place of worship. Weekly services, small group studies, choir, or simply the coffee hour after church, these are low-pressure environments where conversations happen naturally. And if you've drifted away from your faith community, it's never too late to return or explore new ones. Local libraries, colleges, and parks departments often offer free or low-cost classes for seniors. One man signed up for a memoir writing class at the public library. He wasn't even sure he liked writing, but by the second session, he realized the joy wasn't just in telling stories, but in hearing them from others. Note that community colleges are a wonderful place to meet people while enjoying the gift of learning. Helping others is one of the best ways to meet like-minded people. Whether it's reading to school kids, helping at a food pantry, or ushering at a theater, you're surrounded by people who care. That's fertile ground for friendship. We sometimes overlook our neighbors, people who live right next door. Start small. Host a potluck. Offer a chair on the porch. Say hello to someone new on your walk. One couple began organizing porch socials in their community. Every month, a different home hosts coffee or lemonade, and new neighbors become familiar faces. Love to read? Join a book club. Into puzzles, quilting, model trains, or classic films? There's a group for that. Hobbies give us something to talk about, and something to return to. Yes, technology can feel tricky, but it can also open doors. If you're comfortable, explore video chats, Facebook groups, or apps designed for older adults like Stitch. And if you're not sure how? Ask a family member, friend, or librarian to help you get started. Think about people you used to know. High school friends. Neighbors from another city. A cousin you haven't talked to in years. A short letter or phone call can be the bridge that reopens a beautiful connection. A lot of people don't realize that others feel just as uncertain. If someone invites you to something, say yes. If you see an opportunity to join in, take it. That small risk could lead to something deeply rewarding. If nothing out there seems like a fit, start your own group. A weekly coffee meetup. A walking club. A storytelling hour. All you need is one other person to say yes and the rest will come. Remember, friendships don't usually appear overnight. They grow. Slowly. Quietly. Through repeated presence and shared experience. And while it may take some time and effort, the payoff is rich, a sense of belonging, renewed purpose, and the priceless joy of being seen, heard, and appreciated. No one is too old. No one is too new. Connection is always possible. Wisdom doesn't come from reading about life. It comes from living it. And when it comes to friendship, especially friendship in our later years, there are some truths that only time can teach us. Let's explore the insights shared by older adults from all walks of life. These reflections are not theories. They're lived experiences, gathered from the coffee shops, porches, hospitals, libraries, and family kitchens of the world. Friendship is less about the grand gesture and more about the small, steady ones. A phone call just to say hello. A shared smile in the grocery aisle. Bringing someone soup when they're under the weather. These little moments build something lasting. Being seen and heard never stops mattering. One 84-year-old man told us, even when you retire, you still want to be asked how your day was. A good friend is someone who remembers your story, and keeps asking for more. Real connection takes time. Another woman in her late 70s said, "We think if it doesn't click right away, it's not meant to be. But the truth is, my best friend now is someone I didn't like much at first." You don't have to be the same to connect. Often, the most meaningful friendships happen between unlikely pairs. An 82-year-old Navy veteran and a 26-year-old librarian. A woman who never married and a widower with 6 grown kids. What they share isn't their history, it's their presence and willingness to connect. Letting go of old expectations opens new doors. Sometimes we carry past hurts, comparisons, or fears into new social settings. But older adults who've embraced vulnerability and curiosity report deeper friendships. "When I stopped worrying about saying the wrong thing," one woman shared, "I finally had real conversations." Friendship is a form of legacy. It's not about what we leave behind, but who we stand beside. A friendship forged later in life can leave a lasting imprint, not only on your memory, but on the lives of those around you. As one listener put it, "My friend and I talk every Wednesday. If one of us ever misses it, the day just doesn't feel right." These insights serve as gentle reminders. They say, you're not too old to start again. You're not too late to matter. And the connections you build now might be the ones that carry you through. So take that walk. Say that hello. Sit down one more time beside that person you're not sure you have anything in common with. Because the wisdom of experience says, you just might. Showing up is half the friendship. A retiree who runs a weekly puzzle group said, people don't always talk a lot. But they come back. And over time, we've become part of each other's week. That's what counts. Let's return to where we began. At the coffee shop, with that empty chair across the table. Maybe the chair was once filled by someone you knew well. A best friend. A spouse. A neighbor who used to drop in without calling first. And maybe now it sits empty more often than you'd like. But here's the thing, the chair isn't gone. It's still there. Waiting. Not for the past to come back, but for something new to take its place. Friendship at this stage of life isn't about picking up where you left off decades ago. It's about opening yourself to what, and who, is around you now. If your heart has felt the ache of loneliness, know this, you are not the only one. Many people around you are quietly hoping for connection, too. Someone to talk with. Someone to laugh with. Someone who remembers their name and asks how they're doing. The chair is still open. And it's yours to fill, or to offer. Because friendship doesn't end with age. It grows with it. And someone, somewhere, might just be hoping you'll sit down and say, it's good to see you. Let's not underestimate the value of small moments, a shared walk, a kind word, a regular coffee date. These are the threads that quietly stitch us back into the fabric of belonging. You don't have to fix the past. You don't have to chase the future. You just have to show up, now, with an open heart. So if you've been waiting for a sign, maybe this is it. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something simple, but important. If today's story made you smile, or stirred up a memory, or reminded you of someone you haven't talked to in a while, don't let the moment pass. Reach out. Call a friend. Send that message. Invite someone to coffee, or to take a walk, or just to sit a while and talk about life. Because friendship doesn't need to be fancy. It just needs to be real. And if you're feeling a little stuck, or not sure where to begin, you're not alone. That's why we're building this community. A place where people like us, seasoned, spirited, and still growing, can share ideas, stories, and support. So I invite you. Subscribe to this podcast. Join the conversation. Tell a friend about us. And most of all, keep reaching out. Because it's never too late to make a friend. And it's never too early to be one.